No problem.
All right, so we're joined from Birmingham, Alabama by Michael Fagin, the founder and owner of MFJ Creative Studios, doing some really cool things in the creative arts and small business advertising. And we're recording this for our friends at Germantown High School, Ridgeland High School, Madison Central High School, and our YouTube channel. And I've got a classroom here with me at Velma Jackson High School and our entrepreneurship students. And not only are you an entrepreneur, you work with entrepreneurs. So it's really cool that you are a business-to-business business, a Black-owned business at that in Alabama, doing some really cool stuff with technology and helping businesses find their way, get found online, get seen by the right people in their target market, which is a lot of what we're talking about in class. So I'll let you take it away. Tell us a little bit about MFJ Creative Studios.
Okay. Before we do that, is there a way I could share my?
Absolutely.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. As Greg just mentioned, I'm Michael Fagin, the owner of MFJ Creative Studios, and we've been doing this since 2017. I started off as a freelancer building websites, and over the years, I've started to learn how to do brand identities, digital marketing, and I noticed that with web design, it started to kind of tremble because a lot of people started to build their own websites. However, I noticed that we had to stay above the trends to start adding digital marketing. So I graduated. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in computer science, and that's why I really learned my niche in website development. Then my grad school, I received a Master of Engineering degree, and this one was a very unique degree. People think that it dealt with engineering, civil engineering, but it was actually entrepreneurship for C-level executives and independent business owners. So just a brief background, what I found, one of our final projects in grad school was to present a plan, whether you are a C-level executive looking to innovate a corporation or an independent business owner. Me, on the other hand, I wanted to go more into independent business. So I created a plan, and that's when I look back at it about 2 years ago. That's when I noticed how the board members, what they told me was that I was all over the place. I was trying to offer logo design. I was trying to offer conversion rate optimization, and a lot of this stuff I had very little knowledge of. So what they recommended is that I focus on one or two niches. They also recommended that I join either a Chamber of Commerce or the networking BNI. So I don't know if that's
my mother bought with BNI.
Okay, so that was the recommendation. So I kind of took it with a grain of salt, like one ear and out the other. But then when I look back at about a year and a half ago, I look back at my files, because I keep all of my graduate school files in my Google Drive account, my personal account. And I just read that and I said, well, they are correct. So I restructured the company based on what I was recommended, and it seemed to work out well. Now, I'm not going to say it's a problem, but we're still trying to find our target niche because we still have clients from different niches coming to us. We've had restaurants, vegan restaurants, we've had nonprofits, we've had beauty supply stores, tax preparers, credit preparers. We've had a lot to come to us for either a website or something to be done. So yeah, we want to do this kind of focus on two niches, but we're still getting people that come in to us, and we have very relative people that research those industries. So we just, at this point, we're welcoming them all in.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. If you're a business to business type entity, you're really going to deal with a wide array of stuff. Even if you specialize in one thing, you're really going to get the gambit, especially if you're good at what you do.
Right. And what I wanted to do is I want to share my screen. Just a second.
Sure. Yep, I got it.
Okay. Do you see the website?
I do.
Okay. Now, I'm actually on a curved screen. So, okay, this is our actual company website, MFJ Creative Studios. Just a second. Okay. Okay. And what my whole identity was with this website was to create more of a corporate modern, minimalistic style website to reflect us as a professional agency. Even though we are professional, we still wanted to add that corporate mix into this site. So pretty much with this site, pretty much to this site, it's just pretty much a self-explanatory go to where users have the leeway to go to anywhere and navigate through this site. So every page of the problems we solve, we have a video explaining our services. And we also have a catchphrase. Ooh, I'm sorry for that.
Oh, that's fine.
We have a catchphrase. We help startups and small businesses reach next level brand awareness and maintain high levels of scalability. That is our unique selling point. And then we go into pretty much go into a statement of what we offer to businesses. And if you click on view our work, you can view pretty much our portfolio. These are our websites that we've created for different clients. Wow. And as you look at it, they are different industries. So this one is health, holistic health. Here's a social security niche. Here's a cable manufacturing, beauty supply. We have an entertainment, wow. And we have a 360. So we have so many websites that we've built for clients. And we also talk about our services. Now, actually, we've changed the name of these services. So they're no longer the master brand strategy, it's the next level brand awareness. And these two, the marketing fulfillment and web design, they are actually accelerator programs now. They're not essentials or joint ventures. And the app development innovation is pretty much mobile application development for Android and iOS. So we pretty much just display how we can help drive impact, get found online, and expand your reach. We also created a blog that's an independent website, still under the MFJ Creative domain, and featured testimonials. So pretty much this is just a go-to informative website, and the problems we solve is basically the 4 client acquisition systems that we have.
Wow. So
what I wanted to do is I want to give you a briefing on one of the current websites we're working on now for a nonprofit organization. If you look at this website, we reached out to this client because we previously built a public library website for their actual city. And we reached out because we noticed that their website is pretty much a blog style website that you just continuously scroll down. And, you know, nowadays, more users are not going to take the time to just scroll down. They want to see something. I'm just going to give you an idea. They want
something when I was in high school.
Right. What they want to do is something similar to this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's it.
Yep.
So what we decided to do is we noticed that they did not have a membership form for potential businesses to fill out their fill out a membership and pay annually. So we proposed some forms to fill out and an online payment gateway. And we noticed when we were talking with the client that this site is 16 years old.
Wow.
So this is the site. Well, this is the site that they're doing now. And this is the site that we're going to send to them next week.
Oh, wow. What a difference.
Right. So what we've done is we've created this new website. The content is we still have the Lorem Ipsum content. So what we've done is we've created a dynamic backend panel for them, a dynamic admin panel for them to go in and change up some of the text in this website. So if you see here, all of this is Lorem Ipsum, but they're able to change this text up once we release the website to them.
Wow.
This is a photo gallery, and we're still awaiting pictures. They've had several events, but they have the ability to add pictures based on certain categories. So by this being a Chamber of Commerce, they deal with education, civic, business community, and charity golf tournament. So for example, charity golf tournament, they have the ability to add more than one picture. Wow. Now, keep keep in mind on this section, it's only going to be limited to 4 because this is just a snippet, a homepage snippet. But once you click our photo gallery, you can see all of the gallery at once on one entire page.
That's cool.
Right here is something we decided to add to the website, words from the community. And this is basically a testimonial from certain businesses. They have the opportunity to add more than just these 3 entities. They can add up to 10 at the most if they want. Now, if you go back and look at the upcoming events, if you see here, it's just a vertical, pretty much vertical events tab. But if you go here, we've narrowed it down to a blog style.
Yep.
So if you click upcoming events.
Yeah, and that looks more like a hotel casino type calendar.
Looks like what now?
More, and that looks more like a hotel or casino type calendar that really markets the really markets the events instead of having to scroll.
Correct. So so what happens is we've also implemented a calendar now where they have the authority to go in and add events to the calendar. So if you look here, this is the calendar they were using. And if you look at some of the text, it's blending in or overlapping the original image.
Yeah.
Well, with this new feature, we've added a calendar and they can use agenda view or they could do a monthly view and you can see all of the events. And these are pop-up events.
Wow.
So all of this is pretty much mobile. It's also mobile responsive as well. Wow. So in a nutshell, that's pretty much what we do. And what we've also done is we've redid their brand identity. So if you see the original logo here, and then this is the actual identity that we've created.
Wow.
And they are very impressed that we did it.
And you're still keeping the original picture. So that's really cool. You know, even though this is a government entity, they aren't changing their identity. They're just changing their look. They're still doing the same thing. They're being known by the same image, but it's changing it and it's more sleek and more up to date with their target market.
Correct. And this is what I wanted to share with the students. I want to share an example with the students. Okay, with logos, I just want to give you a heads up. What has happened with the brand identity trend is that if you can go back all the way 20 years ago, if you look at a Pepsi logo or a Burger King logo, they went from a 3D scheme, then 10 years later, they went to a 2D scheme, and now they're going to a more minimalist modern scheme. So if you look at this logo here, this is pretty much a flat minimalist scheme that most branding agencies and brands are going to now. I also want to show you, if you see the Pepsi, this went from a 3D logo to now a minimalist logo. Even the Burger King logo is now minimalist. So these logos can range anywhere from maybe 500 all the way, depending on the brand recognition, anywhere from 500 all the way up to 20, 30, maybe even $100,000 just for a logo. There is a company in New York that I know Tom Brady has, a TB2 brand. It's just a generic TB2 logo that costs tons of money that a company in New York have done. So branding is essential when it comes to building out certain businesses. But as I explained earlier, depending on how big the company is, these logos can be very expensive in the long run. And I'm going to, that's all I have to share on my end.
Ooh, and that's great stuff. And you mentioned on there, and this is something I think a lot of entrepreneurs make a mistake on, is especially when you're trying to establish a market. You may have a great product, you may have a great logo, you may have a great sales pitch, but if it's hard to find and hard to get to, people are going to go somewhere else to get it. Especially because you said they didn't have a place for people to sign up. So if I'm looking for a place to sponsor or a place to sign up for something and it's hard to find, I'm going to go somewhere else.
Correct. And that's where we have a service called a Marketing Fulfillment Accelerator. This is a one-stop shop to get found online. So this mainly is for up and coming. We start with small businesses and startups. With this program, you may not have the time to do the SEO, the social media marketing, the emails, the blogs. you may not have the time for that. So we serve as a filler to do all of that for you. We require a 3-month commitment to do that because with SEO, it's not an overnight process. SEO takes close to 2 to 3 months to actually start seeing results. We also will run the ad campaigns for you as well. So that in itself is a large project that takes in. If you're satisfied with the 3 months, you can take this program all the way up to 12 months.
Wow.
To 12 months. And we still, what we do is a lot of QA. We do a lot. We still run the ads for you. We still do the blogging, and we create content that is going to optimize for search engines.
Oh, wow.
Right. We do that. And for example, Google has just released an update. And just to anybody that has a website now, Google has released an update where they're putting websites at higher priority if they have content with the intent to educate and inform the public or users.
Wow.
Right. So if you have a website and you have very little content that's not informative or educating, Google is going to put you at the bottom of the list. Whereas if you have a website that has a lot of blogs, a lot of rich keywords that is intent to inform and educate the public, even some of the I'm just going to put an example, ABC 3340, they have a website with some intent to inform, they're going to put them at a high priority. So with that being said, we do have a content marketing service within that Marketing Fulfillment Accelerator that will help you get your website not only ranked through SEO, but ranked to Google as well on that high priority list.
Yeah, and you cannot put a price tag on being recognized, because especially in some of those websites you showed, that are some very competitive industries. So they may have a great product, but if they can't get their name out there, it doesn't matter how good it is. They're going to, part of being an entrepreneur is being able to be recognized and to stand out. And I wanted to ask you too is, what is a common mistake you see a lot of these business owners make? Because obviously they aren't tech experts, and that's why they're coming to you. What are some mistakes that maybe they're overlooking that maybe they haven't thought about that maybe someone with your skill set would see?
Well, I noticed first thing we do is we have a technology through a Google extension. And we have a technology that we can see let's say, for example, if you go to my website, www.mfjcreative.com, we can look at the back end technology to see if you're running ads, see if you're running heat maps on your website. What a heat map is it's a tracking device. It gives you, what it does is it gives you real-time viewing of people on your website.
Wow.
So say, for an example, if Belma Jackson High School is doing a marketing campaign, if the administrators want to see where users are going, let's say if I'm just constantly clicking register, 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 the heat map will track that and show that we're constantly clicking on register. So what that does is give key decision makers the decision to say, well, hey, let's target or let's build a landing page that will target that specific button, which is register. Therefore, that can help get you more people registered for their class or how, whatever you're trying to get done. So we look at if you're doing heat maps, if you're running SEO, if you're running some people are doing WordPress themes, what themes are you running? We also look at functionality. If the functionality is not working, that's another aspect we can discuss with you. We've noticed in the past that we've had certain clients that they've had someone to build a website. And I can give you an example. Yesterday, I was at a convention, and we had someone come to us to talk to us about their website. Someone built their website in the Webflow platform, but they did not train them how to use it. So now they don't know how to use it, and they're just stuck in limbo. And just a nugget. Some agencies will purposely do that to keep charging you a maintenance fee each month.
Oh, that's pretty shady.
Some will do it, but normally what most agencies supposed to do is do at least an hour, 2 hours of training to show you how to navigate, because most of these websites are CMS based. We still get websites that we have to custom code. So we custom code those websites or we do CMS, but we also get clients that someone have created a logo and it just does not resemble with them. They just probably say, well, we'll just take it and just leave it with a grain of salt. So that's when we come in and we take a look at the logo and add our emphasis on it. Most of our projects that we do them as professional based, meaning, and I don't want to step on anybody's toes when I say this, but we have clients that they love the glitter, the glam, the silver, and we to an extent we do that, but we want to keep our agency is, like I said, built on that corporate modern professional style. So if that's something we don't want to initiate and do, we can refer that out to someone else. So we get clients that come in, they either need a revamp or they need somebody to maintain the website. And we look at the sites and they're just not, for example, the Centerpoint site has not been modernized. So that's where we come in and modernize.
So that just seems like an unbelievable task to update a 16-year-old website.
Well, yeah, and we noticed that a lot of things were outdated, but we built the website based on they've already been using WordPress. So we didn't reinvent the wheel under any different platforms. What we did is we just used WordPress, create a more modern design, and still give them that dynamic ability to change up any type of content on the site.
And before I get to the students' questions, I do have another one. And this is important because we're going to talk about this in the class. Is how important is it to pay attention to trademarks and copyrights when you are designing these things? Because you may unintentionally, it could happen to anybody, unintentionally have some sort of trademark infringement.
Now what we do is we ask clients about this, and we haven't had an issue, but we have had one client that we actually built a logo for, and they wanted to trademark it. So we did notice that what happened was I kind of educate some of the clients that say, hey, logos are easy to build. If you want to build a logo, that's fine. If you do it in Canva is an online graphic software that's most popular now. If you build that logo in Canva, you need to watch it because it may not be trademarkable. So anybody can maybe take a template from Canva and create their logo, but it may not be trademarked. So we haven't had any issues with that, but we do ask, are you planning to trademark? And our whole focus when we're building out these brand identities and these websites, we want to build them for the long term. We just don't want you to do it for the short term, but we do let them know, and it's in our contract as well when they sign for the logo design. You are free to trademark your logo because we build custom logos, but you're free to trademark it, and we offer them we put the website in the contract for them to go through the process and do the trademarking. Yeah. So one other thing now with the content, we have content creators that build our content on the websites, but what we do is we send that content to the client first, meaning we send it to them so they can approve it. Because let's say, for instance, a tax preparer or credit specialist or anybody in finance, we just don't create content because we don't know all the financial rules. So we have to create content and send that over to the client for approval because they know that's their niche. We expect them to know the rules. So no one gets any copyright infringement or anything. Therefore, we send it to them, they approve it, we add it to the website or the blog, etc. So that's a precaution we take to cover us and cover the client as well. Yeah. One final thing is the NDAs. That goes for websites or mobile apps. We know that people have ideas when it comes to mobile apps, and our slogan with mobile application is, if you bring us your idea, we will build it. But we always let them know that we require an NDA. So if it's me and a project manager, a developer, and an app strategist together on the call, all of us will sign the NDA so that we're not liable, and my staff is not liable to leak out that idea, because some people have great ideas that can become millionaires and trillionaires, and we just don't want to infringe on that, and because that'll hurt us as well.
And again, this is all this stuff you may seem little, but this is little things that can make or break a business that people may not think about. But I got some great questions here from students. This first one is a Marion Bolton. He's a senior. He's interested in starting a type of transport trucking company, but he asked, how much corporate feedback do you use when you're doing your designs, and what do you do if you get hard criticism on the work?
Okay, that now I'm gonna be honest. I haven't had any hard criticism as of yet. I haven't. But if we did get hard criticism, the first thing what I would do is just sit down with the client and ask, okay, can you provide to us what's wrong with this? Let's say this particular design. What is wrong? Where if there's some sort of miscommunication, where's the miscommunication? And just try to get some sort of clarity. And I've always believed that most problems are solved through questions and answers. If you don't say anything, then you're just constantly building something out. You're going to keep getting criticism until you actually get that person together and say, hey, okay, this is the design I built. Okay, I don't like it. Okay, can you tell me something about the design that you don't like, or something that you recommend us do? That's how you kind of sniff out, you have to get some trick questions to sniff out what they're looking for. Once you sniff out what they're looking for, then you can go back to the table and draw something out similar to what they're looking for. So if a client comes back and say, well, hey, I don't like it, then now you have documentation to say, well, hey, this is what you sniffed out. So I mean, you can't please everybody. You cannot, but we do the best we can. We never like to end relationships, but in some instances, if we're doing everything we can and they're still not satisfied, then at some point we have to say, well, hey, do you think we recommend we use someone else? And more than likely, sometimes if it's this big of a problem, it may have been a previous problem with another design. So that could be the case as well. So, but I have not had that feeling as of yet, but I'm always learning, just in case we do get that type of a client that comes in.
Yeah, and it's like I always tell these kids, it's what the customer wants is more important than what you want. So
Correct.
Just because you think something's cool, they may hate it. So you really have to figure out what it is they need and how you can use your skills to get what they need, not necessarily what you like. And you can get an idea, but at the end of the day, it's what they want.
Right. Now, I will let you know that the young man that asked the question, what you could do as a buffer is whatever service you're trying to provide, and this is a mistake that I made during my journey with MFJ Creative Studios, have a questionnaire prepared.
Ooh.
Have a questionnaire. Have them to fill out their questionnaire and just go in. If it's a logo design, if it's just a simple logo, have them fill out a questionnaire. Include the type of styling, the type of fonts, the type of colors. Wow. Have that in hand, because if they fill it out and you build it based on their requirements and they come back and say, well, hey, I don't like this, I hate this. Now you have documentation and you have proof that, well, this is what was in the questionnaire. Or what you could do is maybe give them a second chance to refill it out again. But if you keep giving them a chance to refill it out, fill it out, it's going to prolong this project. So that's one thing that at first when I was starting, I was so happy that I got this web design client or this branding client. But then I noticed that I needed to come up with some questionnaires. Those questionnaires act as a buffer, so you will know this is what needs to be done based on their criteria.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And it's clicking now. You see a lot of small businesses do that, but that's the very reason they do. And this is another great, and this is Octavia Johnson. She's a senior interested in the cosmetology industry, which is another great industry you need a questionnaire in. But she asked, how do you stay on top of industry and technological trends?
Well, there's a tool called Google Trends. Google Trends pretty much tell you what's trending in the future, what's trending in the past, what was trending now, and what could be trending in the future. Also, I have a Twitter account, but I very rarely use it. But always with Twitter, I use it to follow certain trends. So one trend I follow is small business trends. Another platform I follow is TechCrunch, CNET, Medium. Medium is I think it's a blog content website where you can write blogs. I think you get paid for it. I'm not sure, but Medium also keeps you in on trends as well when it comes to design. But what I like about Medium is you could filter what industry you're in. So let's say you're in the cosmetology industry, you can sign up for Medium and just follow the cosmetology industry and see what trends are there. Then also we have to keep, let's say with us as a digital marketing agency, we have to keep up with SEO, social media management, app development. One thing about app development, we had to keep up with the trend, and this is where I'm going to be honest with this one. We actually lost a contract. And the reasoning for that, well, it wasn't our fault, but what happened was there was a client that was using the React Native programming language to build out their mobile application. However, and I think it maybe offended him because he spent so much time working on the application with React. But the only thing we did was the intent to educate or inform him and give him a heads up. Well, hey, React, when you update in React, there's a possibility that you will have functionality issues in your mobile application. So we recommended the new Flutter programming development that is I think it's a subsidy of Google. With Flutter, once that language updates, that mobile application functionality updates as well, whereas React, there may be an issue. So, he was thinking that he may have to redo this whole application in Flutter. Well, we was like, no, we can just transfer some things over and just reinvent some things in Flutter, and you'll still have that admin panel to do what you have to do. So we have to stay on the trend. We have to stay above the trends constantly. So what I wanted you to do is, if you have a Facebook page, any type of social media page, make sure that you subscribe and follow people in your trend. Yep. So that you can stay ahead of what's going on. One client we worked on in the past, they're a hair braiding company, and we built a website for them, and they constantly are using, there's tons of braiding services. We can't keep track of them, and the owner can't keep track of them. So what we decided to do was create a field in their website where a stylist can go into their site and add their own personal service. Therefore, once they add that service, it automatically updates in the admin panel field. So therefore, that's how they can stay up to date with the newest trends of braids. So for example,
great idea.
Yeah, so that's what we did with her, is to just make a free form instead of just listing hundreds of hair braiding services. If a young lady comes up with a unique hair braiding service she wants to add on her own, and she can add on pictures to show some sort of proof, then we just created a free form field for them to just add those services. Wow. Therefore, you're able to stay up on the trends with that website.
Incredible. All right, well, I just got one more from the students. This is Miles Woodard. He's a senior. He's interested in getting into the gaming industry. And he asked, what tips would you give me for someone about to graduate from high school if I wanted to start my own company?
The gaming company. Okay. I have very little knowledge of the gaming company, but I would say I've noticed with a lot of people that does gaming, they make a ton of money just live streaming games. Now, as a business owner, I really couldn't tell you how to get that started or what avenues you need to take. But if you're trying to overthrow YouTube or Twitch, then you have to know that if you're going to do something like that, you're going to have to create some sort of online platform. If you create this online platform, you're going to have the database, because gaming is just hours and hours of streaming that can eat up a database quickly. Okay. So what I know, you mainly need hosting for those streaming platforms, especially if you're creating it on your own. Amazon AWS right now is the most popular database right now, but we're still learning because we're looking to transfer to house all of our websites and mobile apps in the future. We're looking to use Amazon AWS, but it charges you, I think, it charges by the data, and it's very complex to migrate and do a lot of features that maybe SiteGround or Bluehost can do more easily. So I can share my email if you want to email me, and I do have a developer on hand that I can ask them about that when it comes to the gaming industry. But I do know for a fact that if you are trying to do your own gaming industry, and if you're trying to do something where you're streaming it, YouTube and Twitch may have certain limitations, but they always say if you don't want to be limited to certain stuff, you may want to just create your own.
Yeah,
But
the licensing stuff with that is a big deal.
correct, it's a big deal. So I know a lot of people make a ton of money just all day playing video games and just live streaming. If that's something you're interested in, you just have to really look and see what the licenses is, how much it's going to cost a database. Now, nowadays, they're doing a cloud database, meaning with the cloud database, you get much more space than you would get with the regular physical data from a physical database at a data center. I think the closest data center for here in the South is Owl, and I think it's one in Virginia.
Wow.
So with cloud database, you get more data storage, but it's more expensive. So that's something that you really would have to do a lot of research at when it comes to the gaming industry.
Wow. I'm learning a lot from you today, but we're almost out of time. And again, we thank you so much for joining us, taking time out of your schedule to speak to us today. But before we go, even if these kids don't want to get into anything technical, like you heard some of the industries they're interested in, and some of the ones watching later at the same thing. But you are a Black business owner in the South, and you're killing it. So what can they do to follow in the same footsteps as someone like you?
Well, I would say what I did. Okay, I started full time in my business after September 2020. I started full time.
Cool.
What that means is the clock is now on you. There's, if you're not working a job or anything, you're doing your business full time, it's on you. You're responsible for the revenue. You're responsible for the expenses. It's all on you. Now, you have to market your company. And that's some stuff that I've slacked on, and then I started back and slacked, but you have to market your company. You have to get people around you that is going to do the work. And one thing about me, I hate to micromanage. You shouldn't want to keep micromanaging as well, because if you're constantly micromanaging, you're going to lose time out on what you have to do. A lot of people think that just because we're going in business that I'm going to be free. It takes time. Some people will get away with doing it overnight and living free, but that's very, very rare.
Yeah.
You have to get in the trenches. You have to do some cold calling. You have to do some cold emailing. You have to do some marketing. You have to get out there. One thing that I've started to do now is join networking opportunities. Any networking opportunity I see that's in close vicinity within the South, I go to it, get out there, create you some marketing collateral, business cards, flyers, hand them out. Even if you got a bunch of business cards, if you go to gas stations, put them on the desk, let people get them. You'll be amazed if you keep doing that, how that's going to start driving traffic to your website if you have one, or your social media pages. Another thing, get into some social, maximize on those social media groups. Any Facebook group, just look at them if they're legitimate. You want to get more human Facebook groups, because there's a lot of them that can be bots. Look at some human Facebook groups and just say, hey, this is my business. Please like and follow my page. That will help you get more followers and likes as well. Now you can still market. And if it's a client that's interested in something that you offer, they may send you an email. You just have to, you have to get out there and do it. And then once your revenue start to pick up, now you can maybe hire someone to fulfill their void. And instead of you doing most of the social media, you can hire somebody to do it. But if you've created the templates and you want it your way, they have to follow that identity. I'm sorry, follow that your recommendations. Now, please keep in mind that if you get a person that comes to your team and they come with this brilliant idea of how to scale your business, listen to them. Don't just blow them off because you're the owner. Listen to them, because that can be something that can either make or break your business. Always remember, my brother always called it trial and error. Just try it out. If it doesn't work, you can let them know this is why it didn't work. Just it didn't work. This is why it didn't work, because of A, B, C, D. So I'm still learning. We all as business owners are still learning, but you just can't think that you're going to be free after one month if you start a business. It's businesses that they always say after 4 to 5 years, if a business is still not stagnant, 9 times out of 10 it may fail. Now things are always changing. Now it's down to 2, 3 years. If it's not doing anything in 2, 3 years, it could fail. You can also look at it like if you're buying land. You can buy land and sit on it for 10 years until something comes along where you can add something on that land to add value to it. It's kind of like a business. If I'm working a job, I may just pick up the LLC, pay the business license, just kind of pay it just to keep it going. And then eventually when I'm ready, maybe retire something, I want to start a business, then I can focus more on it. So, but I would recommend only doing that if you have a 9 to 5. But if you're trying to go full time in your business, you don't really have time to do that.
Well, great stuff. And a lot of stuff, I learned a lot from you today. Little things that can get your brand identity, getting the name out there. Really cool tech stuff. But before we go, tell us where to find MFG Creative Studios online.
Okay, you can find us at, I know we're out of time, but I'm just going to share one more time.
Sure.
Okay, do you see the website?
I do. MFGcreative.com.
Right, MFJCreative.com.
Okay, I'm sorry, I can't read.
Yeah. A lot of people get it twisted. They say MFG or MF. I know one, I did an order one day and one lady said, well, I have an order for MFG Creative. So I get that sometimes as well. But it's a very simple website. It's just 4 tabs about what we do. We just pretty much kept it simple. User-friendly website. You can learn more about these services. If it's someone that's interested in these services, you can pretty much click, say for instance, if you're interested in a web design accelerator. I don't know why my website is doing this, but it actually, I think what it is, I'm working on it on the back end. Let's say if you're interested in working with us, you can always click, let's collaborate. And pretty much there's a short form that you can fill out and we get that information and then we call you and say, hey, what are you looking for and how can we help you? And normally clients will say, well, I'm looking for this. And so that's when we'll refer, as I spoke earlier, we will refer them back to a questionnaire so that we can get basically their requirements on paper.
Awesome. Well, again, Michael Fagin, Birmingham, Alabama. Thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. You guys have a great day.
All right. See you, my man.
Okay. Bye-bye now.